and I'm really pleased to be able to offer this special video today, and I hope it's going to help anybody who's needing that support today. I'm going to share with you 5 things that will help you feel better during a heartbreak situation. A really interesting fact is that not only do we think a heartbreak situation is an emotional breakdown of some kind, but it's been proven that actually the stress hormones that are created during an emotional disturbance like this actually do affect the heart physically. And not only that, that women are more susceptible to this kind of experience. So it's a very real thing, and sometimes it's just so difficult to know what to do for the best. And I'm going to share with you 5 steps that help me get my life back after heartbreak. So let me introduce myself first. My name's Sarah. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist and a rapid transformational therapist and coach, and I help women get their lives back after divorce, no matter my age, who found themselves in a heartbreak situation in their 50s, when they've lived what they think is the best part of their life. Suddenly they're having to deal with something that's just so horrendous and very difficult. So if this video helps anybody, I'll be very happy about that. If you can manage to stay to the end, I'm going to share the link for a free download of a special booklet that I have created that has lots of practical tips and help for people who are in this situation, who are trying to sort of get themselves back in some sort of normal functioning, but better than before. So I'd be really happy to share that with you. Okay, so step number 1. It's an absolute universal truth that no matter what has happened to you, and however much despairing you are feeling at the minute and how heartbroken you are, that there's one thing that's absolutely true, that we're totally powerless to control what other people think, what other people feel, or how they behave. And sometimes one of the biggest lessons of heartbreak is to understand that the only power that we have is how we can control how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. We do have a choice about that. So in a heartbreak situation, it is really tough. We feel absolutely powerless and in despair, and that there's nothing we can do to change the situation. And I hope you can trust me enough to believe that there is a lot you can do to help yourself grow through this situation, rather than just go through it. Tip number 2. One of the most important lessons I learned was actually from a Zen monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, and he recently passed away this year, but one of his teachings just to help me so much, and it's very simple, yet it's very profound. I'm going to share that with you now. That when you feel sorrow, rather than try to push it away, you have to go to your sorrow like a mother goes to her crying baby. And how she goes to her crying baby is with compassion, kindness and care and patience. And that is exactly the approach that we have to take with our own heartbreak and our own sorrows. And that is the essential requirement for healing and recovery and growing through a very painful situation. And how we do that is we literally self-parent. So this is where Thich Nhat Hanh's idea really comes in to help us understand this principle. So self-parenting is a vital life skill that we may not have been taught in our old lives. I didn't know anything about it. It's something I had to learn. And it's where you literally get yourself into a situation, to a safe space, and you get into dialogue with your sorrow and you ask what it's all about and you feel the feels. So you allow feelings to come up, allow the tears. If there's anger in there, allow that to rise and let it be expressed. Because these feelings, if they're suppressed, make things a lot worse. So it's far better to let them come out in a safe way. And when your sorrow realises that you're there to meet it as a loving parent would, it becomes easier to express what the heartbreak is really about, because there's nearly always a much deeper message under the heartbreak. One thing that helped me as well with self-parenting and meeting very deep hurts and feelings is also maybe establishing to help establish a dialogue with your sorrow, is to just start writing and asking the questions. What's this really about? What is this about? Tell me all about it. And to write that down in a sort of form of journal and just allow the feelings to come up and the expressions to come up, and get into the habit of doing that, and you will gain so much awareness that it will help empower you through a very difficult, painful situation. And the best person to do this work is you. It's not work you can give to somebody else to do on your behalf. It is something that you can do that's super empowering in a situation where you feel really powerless. It helps to turn things around a little bit and gives you so much wisdom and so much awareness. I think you'll find it really helpful, because it helped me. Just a little warning on this part. So in the past we may have reached for unhelpful coping mechanisms to get through this kind of emotional pain, and I want you to be aware of this fact that you may have your own. For some people it's stress eating, it might be having too much wine, it might be going on a shopping spree and buying too many pairs of shoes. We all have something that's a bit unhealthy and helps us cope in difficult times. Be kind to yourself if that has happened, because you didn't know any better, but now you know better, and we know that we've got a better way through self-parenting to take us through these difficult moments, and to recognise when you are using your unhealthy coping mechanisms. They will sabotage you because they only bring temporary relief. They don't bring a permanent solution to this issue, whereas self-parenting is an ongoing skill that you can bring to your life at any time when you need it. And the other thing as well is if you're having to carry on like I had to do during the breakup of my marriage, it was very difficult, and I was working full-time as well, which made it even more challenging. Is if you feel triggered and heartbroken and you're in a work situation, or you're in a situation where you can't go and do the self-parenting actively, you can quietly make a promise to yourself, look, I know you're hurting right now, and later we're going to spend some time with each other, and I'm going to help you feel better about this, and make a promise to yourself that you will attend to this trigger that's come up for you. That's really, really important, because this is an ongoing process. It's not something you do once, it's something you might do over and over again. So part of this process is I'm reminded of Leonard Cohen's song Anthem, and his lyric which goes, there's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. And heartbreak has come to teach us something. It's come to crack us open, to break us open a little bit, to make us feel super vulnerable, so that we can allow awareness and understanding to come in. That's the light. And we can use it as a situation to gain more awareness on what makes us who we really are. So I hope that helps. So the third thing is And this used to puzzle me at first. People who say, you've got to learn to love yourself in this situation. You've got to learn to love yourself, and this is something you must do. And I used to think, great, okay, but how do I learn to love myself? I had no idea. And I had no idea because I'd been raised by people who had no idea how to do this work. So I kind of had to go back to the drawing board and think, right, okay. And a prompt that helped me get through these moments, to make decisions about what I was going to do throughout the day, to support myself, to help myself feel better. The prompt I used was, what would someone do who loves themselves? And to be fair, I'm going to credit Teal Swan with this, so that was something that I remembered that stuck in my mind to help me through difficult times. And that's a really good question to ask yourself. So if you're struggling to get through the day and you're finding it really, really difficult because you feel emotionally burdened by this horrible thing that's happened, then to help you make better decisions, you can say, right, okay, what would someone do who loves themselves? In this moment, what would they do? And it might be, for example, to cook a nice, simple, healthy meal rather than go and get some fast food. It might be, don't have an extra glass of wine, go and take yourself out for a walk because that's healthier and it will help you more. So it's these little tiny baby steps and making decisions about them along the way that help to build you up for yourself, to develop a greater sense of connection to who you are and to develop self-love. And it's taking action that does that. Step 4. One thing that really helped me, all of these things helped me, but this thing was quite remarkable, how much it helped me considering how simple it is to establish a gratitude practice or thankfulness or appreciation, however you want to describe it. And how it helps, it's so simple, yet it's really profound. And no matter how down and in despair you are feeling, just have a belief that there is something to be thankful for at some level. And I'll just explain how it helped me, and maybe it'll inspire you to do something similar. So, at a very basic level, I was able to find a sense of thankfulness and appreciation when I woke up in the morning and I was still breathing and I got another day on this earth. That was enough for me to inspire me to feel a sense of joy and a sense of hopefulness that things were on the way to getting a lot better. And because things had been very serious in the breakup, and it turned a lot of heavy negative momentum around to have that feeling of thankfulness about being alive. So if you're struggling with things to find, go to the very, very simple basic things. Another example was when I was taking a little walk, and things were pretty bad at the time, and I was just enjoying being out in nature, and I was walking along and I saw what we call in the UK a little tiny ladybird or a ladybug on a bush. And I don't know how I managed to see it because it was so tiny, but I saw it, and it was just a lovely little surprise, and it kept, for a moment it lifted me into a sense of joy and wonder. And I was so thankful for seeing that little ladybird. It just seemed to help elevate my mood a lot and realise that we're part of a wider world. It helped me connect with nature, and it came to be a bit of a symbol for me for creating a new life, actually. So there was it was a bit of a mystical moment. But maybe there's things that you can do when you're feeling a little bit disempowered and despairing of something. Try and broaden your outlook a little bit to things around you. What are you grateful for? Is it someone being nice to you when you're trying to find a parking space? That was something that happened to me. You know, that the moment when you're trying to find a parking space, it's very difficult. Suddenly one becomes available, and not only that, they give you the parking ticket because they've got an hour left or something. So there's and the rule, the universal rule about thankfulness and appreciation is that what you appreciate appreciates. So life will just keep sending you more of these lovely little moments, and it builds up, it builds a momentum. And if you can keep that going, it really is a life changer. So if that's something you've experienced, perhaps drop some comments below and let me know. Um, so I hope that helps. Number 5. As well as all the other steps that I've outlined so far, that I'm going to end with suggesting that you consider starting a meditation practice. It's now proven to help establish mental health well-being, and it's a great tool to have in your emotional toolkit to help bring your awareness to the present moment. So you probably heard the phrase mindfulness, because when we are in despair, we are either regretting things that have happened in the past, which we have no control over, or we are frightened about things that are going to occur in the future, which we also have no power over. But meditation will help to calm those busy thoughts and those negative thought loops that will keep you stuck in upsetting, emotionally distressing situations. So, so there are lots of guided meditations out there that you can choose from. You don't need loads of different ones, just find one that works. Or you can I use an app on my phone. It's got a timer. I've got loads of different bells that I can have on it, and I just give myself 20 minutes a day. But you can meditate for as long as you want to, but even 10 minutes will help. And you don't need to achieve no thought, because the idea is to achieve no thought, to find a sense of peace and well-being where your mind is not racing. And even if you do that and manage it for 10 seconds, that's a gain. And it's like everything else, it becomes a habit, and the more you do it, the more you're able to do it. And before you know it, you'll have a really vital tool that you can use to help keep you on an even keel and bring some relief to. And you'll find that because it's been so helpful, you'll want to keep doing it, which is what I do now. And another quote here from I love watching children's films, but the one that I find a lot of fun is Kung Fu Panda. And the quote from there is, I think it's Master Oogway, and he says, the past is history, the future is a mystery, but today is a gift because it's the present. And it's just a fabulous quote, and it's something that you can bring into practice in your daily life to help you through difficult times, and a reminder that your only place of power is in the present moment, and that's where your empowerment lies as well. So I hope that helps. So if you found this video useful, then please do give it a like, thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content from me, you can click subscribe and be notified when new content becomes available. If you think this video is going to help somebody, then please do share it. That would be fantastic. And I did mention, if you stay to the end, I will leave a link in the comments section below where you can click and download an ebook that's got lots of tips for keeping you in a sense of well-being and helping you grow through difficult times. So if you click that link, it's also a subscribe to my regular newsletter, which would be great if you could do that. And also an invite to my special Facebook group. I'll leave a link in the comments below as well. So I hope that you feel inspired, that you can now take some steps to get empowered through your heartbreak and grow through it, because that's why it's happened. That's why we experience it. So take care. That's all for now. Bye bye.